Yes guys, Ollie here and welcome back to another video on my channel where today I'm bringing you a video showcasing my top 5 3-year-old horses to follow for the 2026 season, focusing mainly on horses I believe will be targeted for the Guineas, Oaks and Derby, whether that be in England, Ireland or France. If you enjoyed the video, please remember to like and subscribe, and most importantly leave your opinion in the comments below because that is what the sport is all about. My first pick then, at number 5, is a Palace Pier colt out of a Derby mare that goes by the name of Morris Dancer. On debut, this horse ran at Newbury and ran extremely green, finishing 7th. However, 8 or 9 of the runners in this race have gone on to finish, either win or place in stakes company. Humidity won this race, which I think is really important to mention, as he ties in a bit of form with Humidity as the races go on. In his second start, he beat Commanding Officer, his owner mate, and again he ran extremely green. The form hasn't worked out particularly great from this race, but he did what he had to do and he went on to win this race. The Vintage Stakes at Goodwood on his next start, however, I think this is where the penny really starts to drop with this horse, and he learns his job. He was held up by William Buick towards the back of the field, well, right at the back of the field in fact, and he managed to cover an make up a lot of distance to end up finishing second. He was beat by Zavateri, the eventual winner of the race, and he tracked Zavateri until the sort of the last furlong and then had to be switched out to the right to get a run in. Showed a devastating turn of foot when he was unleashed, and he was only beaten by a nose by, at the time, Zavateri, who then went on to beat Gestard in Ireland at the Curragh, and Eve Johnson Horton's horses. If you remember back at Glorious Goodwood in August, her horses were running red hot. He also reversed the form with Humidity in this race, which, as we discussed earlier, beat him in his debut. Humidity is now rated 112, which is not bad going. His final race of his 2-year-old career came in the Stonehenge Stakes. This is a listed race at Salisbury, a 3-horse race on paper, but in reality it was probably only a 2-horse race, but he did go up against the heavy odds-on favourite, A Bit of Spirit, who he managed to beat convincingly actually by 4 lengths, as well as pulling right again in this race. This form was again franked by Bit of Spirit beating Humidity next time out in a Group 3, which again shows he's really reversed that form from his debut race. For the season ahead then, I think he's got plenty of options in stake races. I think he's a horse that will be best over a mile, and he's got an absolutely devastating turn of foot when he's let go. He's a big price currently at 33 to 1 for the Guineas. Do I think he'll go there? Probably not. But Godolphin will definitely run something, and I don't see why he couldn't be in the mix. On to horse number 4 then, and we take a trip across the water to the French Isles, where we look at a Kingman filly called Green Spirit, trained by Christopher Head. Won on debut really nicely, beating the Godolphin-owned and Andre Fabre-trained My Highness. My Highness has been unbeaten after this race and picked up Group 2 success in Deauville along the way, and looks like a really nice filly for Godolphin going forward. Green Spirit's first success in stakes company became in the Group 3 Pre-6 Perfections over in Deauville, beating Valentina, who, if anyone watched the Breeders' Cup, went on to win the Juvenile Fillies Turf under Oisin Murphy, really impressively actually. I do also have a bit of a personal attachment to this race as well, as my horse I'm involved with, Wet Sand, finished 2.5 lengths behind Green Spirit on this occasion. We will be taking on the French again next month with Wet Sand, so make sure you drop a follow to see how we get on there. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. Back on to Green Spirit. After this race in Deauville, she lined up at Longchamp in a Group 2, beating Nerissa, who she did beat last time out, and appears to be the best juvenile filly that the Aga Khan have produced last season, which, if you're looking for an indicator in France, is the one you want to be in front of, and not a bad place to be at all. In her final appearance of the season then, she took her only defeat to date and was beaten by, in the Group 1, Marcel Boussac by the impressive Diamond Necklace. And without giving anything away about my potential next picks, I think Diamond Necklace could be special. Like, really special. She's picked up Green Spirit £188,000 for her earners in the last year, and on the season ahead, I am almost certain if she is fit and well, she will line up in the French Guineas. I can't see her really going anywhere else. Currently priced up at 8-1 for this race, and I think, like I said, it's going to be some. If anything beats her, I think it will be something very, very special. In at the number 3 spot then, we have my favourite 2-year-old filly of the 2025 season, and that was Venetian Sun. Winning 4 of her 5 starts for Carl Beck, Tony Bloom and Ian McAlevey, she caught the eye of many last year, and for good reason. She beat one of the early 2-year-olds of the season, Argentine Tango, on her debut. Argentine Tango then came out with this race to win the Hillary Needler at Beverley and also impress in a listed race at Newmarket, where she picked up first place as well. Venetian Sun then went on to Royal Ascot after this race for the Albany, where she made light work of this field. And if you remember, cast your mind back to June last year, draw 1 was not the place to be on that flat track. And that's exactly where Venetian Sun was, and came right across the field to win really nicely. Mr. Beck then decided to turn her around just 2 weeks later, where she went to the Duchess of Cambridge Stakes, the Group 2 at the Newmarket July course, where she put in a really gutsy performance here to beat Royal Fixation, who subsequently is now trained by Carl Beck, and won the Lowther next time out up at York. Bloom & Co. decided this still wasn't enough, and for this tough 2-year-old, and they sent her to Deauville for the Prix-Morny, where she took on the boys, went up against the boys in this one, and she put them in their place. She gave them a right good beating. Both Gastard, obviously, and now Breeders' Cup winner is Gastard, and rated 119, and also Wise Approach of Godolphins, who picked up the Middle Park Stakes on his following start. So that is some serious piece of 6 furlong form. Now then, you must be thinking, Ollie, after that glowing review, how can you still have her just at number 3? Surely she's got to be number 1. And the reason is, at the start of this video, I said it's going to be horses I think could be, well, there or thereabouts in the classics, or at least going for them. And I do have some doubts with Venetian Sun. Some from the breeding. She is by Starman, whose offspring obviously have done exceptionally well this year, but he was a 6 furlong horse. And also the Dam showed her best form over 6 furlongs as well, and I'm not sure she'll get the trip. Venetian Sun, though, she has gone, well, she did go to the Moyglare on her last start, and that is a debut over 7 furlongs, where she was beaten by 2, but one of those was precise, so again, make of it what you will. She is a filly I really hope has developed and taken a step forward for next year, because I'd love to see her in the Guineas. I know she's entered for the Irish Guineas, and I think it'd be rude not to at least give her a shot. Hopefully, like I say, she has done. I'll be keeping my eye on her, and I really look forward to seeing her out next year. Get the drums out for the roll then, as we enter the number 2 spot. And the horse that takes this is one that only raced once last year, but put in a serious performance at debut, or at Kempton, in October last year. The horse I'm talking to you about is the Talk of New York. This well-bred Colt for Godolphin is by Wootton Bassett out of a Chamadel mare. As we know, Wootton Bassett has produced horses capable of winning over all distances, especially classic distances, with Well finishing second, only just beaten by Mini Hawk in the Oaks, and also Henri Matisse winning the French Guineas just last year. As Talk of New York has only ran once, we don't have much form to talk about, unfortunately. But what you can see from the video below is him winning extremely smartly. Put into this race to bed nice and easily. 5 lengths clear from the rest and barely being asked to go. The handbrake was only half off, you may say. A seriously smart debut, and a horse I'll be certainly keeping my eye on next year. Where he goes, I'm not too sure, but I think he's definitely one Godolphin will roll the dice with and stick in a classic somewhere. Numero uno then, horse number 1, who I may have given away with my review of Green Spirit, is the one and only Diamond Necklace. This daughter of the fair season sire St Mark's Basilica was nothing short of outstanding in a 2-year-old campaign. She looked to get off to a tricky debut at the Curragh, under a ride from Wayne Lorden, where she got into a little bit of trouble. Like I said, didn't look like she was going to get a run, but she did. And when she did, she swept past the 1.5 million guineas purchase Minerva. A really nice debut. Diamond Necklace, then she then backed up this performance in a listed race under a hands and heels ride back at the Curragh from Christophe Soumillon. Again, really catching the eye and not really doing a lot. Her final start as a 2-year-old saw her breeze past Green Spirit, which I touched on earlier, I think is the best 2-year-old filly to come out of France last year. Another, again, hands and heels ride really from Super Sumi, and caught the eye even further to sweep up the Marcel Broussac, the Group 1. The breeding of this horse does tell me that she will stay further. The dam has already produced a Ribblesdale winner at Ascot, which is of course a race won over 1.5 miles, and also Chiquita, who won the Irish Oaks, all from the same dam, so pretty impressive. The only question I do have for Diamond Necklace is where Aidan O'Brien will run her. The two horses, Bedtime Story and what was the other one? Exactly, was it? That ran in the Marcel Broussac the year before, went on to win, well, not win, but run in the French Guineas. And although I think Diamond Necklace is a league above those two fillies, it could be a route they choose to go down. Saying that, I do think she is, like I said, I think she's different gravy. I really do. And I think it could be, she could be a filly to break O'Brien's curse at Newmarket and win the English Guineas. But who knows? Either way, I will certainly be keeping my eye on Diamond Necklace, and she'll be definitely one for me to follow. She left a big enough impression on me that I've actually had a small bet on her to win the Arc. I think she's that good. But yeah, let's see how she gets on, and a horse I am extremely excited for the 2026 season. Well then, that wraps up my top 5 horses to follow for the Classic campaign of 2026. Do let me know if you agree or disagree with any of my selections in the comments below. Of course, if you have enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. It really does mean a lot. And I will see you in the next video.